My purpose is to transform the quality of the rest of your life in 20 minutes. It's not going to be difficult. It's only going to take one idea planted in your mind forever. And I'm going to give you a bunch of them. So hold on. How many of you have ever experienced any stress? You mean things not going the way you want them to go? Have you noticed when that happens that you have a tendency to hold your breath, tense your muscles, maybe have a little self-doubt about how you're going to handle something, and then think negative and get serious? You ever notice that? I think it happens anytime anything is not the way we want it to be. And we get a lot of habits of that. If you're going to learn how to speed through stress, you're going to learn how to recognize what I just described, what I call the automatic stress reaction, and change it to what I call the stress management response, which is just the opposite. So let's practice real quick. Everybody take a deep breath. And on the out breath, relax. So you've already done 2 steps in like 3 seconds. Let's do it one more time. Everybody take a deep breath. And relax. Good. Now just take your right hand, put it on your left shoulder, and just kind of pat a little bit and go, oh, okay. This is just reassuring yourself. Reassuring yourself about your value, but also about that you can even when you don't know how. Now think about that, because isn't it easy to think you can do something when you know how? And where's there any stress when you know how? So it's all about when you don't know how and think you can't that we experience any stress. So what you want to learn how to do is actually believe that you can without knowing how. And you already do this in some area of your life. You already know when work comes to you. You don't stress about it because you'll figure it out. You don't know exactly how, but you'll figure it out. I just want you to do that same thing with everything. And learn how to practice it. So breathe and relax, reassure yourself, then think positive. Now this is not a Pollyannish kind of way. It's really, projecting a positive into the unknown, looking out there and at the end result, the goal you want to achieve. And seeing what it would feel like. Get a little emotional juice going. And then actually, smile for no reason. So let's practice that. Everybody smile for no reason. Now, while you're smiling, keep doing it. Now, while you're smiling, try to feel bad. Can't do it. It doesn't work. There's differences happening in the brain when you actually put a smile on. We tend to wait for the emotion to have the smile, but you can actually do it the other way around. And when you practice in what I call the elementary school lessons in life, at the grocery store, when you're in traffic, when your computer crashes, and you get that automatic stress reaction, and you practice then moving through on those 5 steps to the stress management response, you get really good. You get really good at noticing it and recognizing it and moving through it faster. So that what the graduate school lessons in life are, when they come, which they will, you'll have some practice going. So like it was mentioned in the introduction that I got shot. I was just walking home from a trip down to the drugstore. Pretty day. I just walked down to the area where I live, and I'm walking back, and a car comes by kind of slow, and the driver stops and gets out, and I think he's going to ask directions. It happens in this area. Time people, get lost or something, and he walks over and grabs me. That usually doesn't happen. He grabbed me, and somehow I was able to step out of his reach. He pulled out a gun. 2 other men jump out of the car and come around. Notice if you just stopped breathing and tensed any muscles. This is called a stressful moment. And it's funny what your mind does in these moments, because I immediately started thinking about when I was a kid and they used to get beat up sneaking home from school. And I thought, wow, this hadn't happened in a long time. And somehow I just able to get out of his reach, and I thought, okay, what does he want? He wants to rob me, is what I thought. I'm going to go through this little movie. I'm going to say, what do you want? He's going to say, give me your wallet. I'm going to give him the wallet. And that's about as far as I got in my little movie. And I said, what do you want? And he just smiled and shot me, which I didn't expect at all. He shot me with a .38. Which is a pretty good-sized bullet, hit me in the center of my chest from just a few feet away. So everybody take a deep breath and relax and reassure yourself, I'm the one who got shot. Okay, so Now the miracles are that the bullet stuck in the sternum. It didn't enter my body. It grabbed my shirt and spun the material of my shirt and created wadding around the bullet, and I didn't bleed at all. It didn't knock me down, and I think it kind of scared the guys because they turned and ran back to their car, kind of da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Any of you who are old enough to remember the Superman theme song. So there I am standing with these guys running away with a bullet in the center of my chest, and I knew I needed help. Now, I wasn't bleeding at all. It didn't knock me down. Actually, at that moment, I thought maybe it was a dart or something. You know, because I did see the gunfire. Flame comes out about 2 or 3 feet. It's very beautiful if you've never seen it. But I knew I needed help. So I turned and went to the first house with the light on. I knocked on the door. The guy who opened the door was wearing operating clothes, which I thought was a good sign. That was encouraging. I said, I think I've been shot. He said, come in. He called the police. He called the ambulance. He called my family. And I'd been practicing what I was just talking to you about moving through stress in 5 steps in 15 seconds, for years before this happened. So I'm automatically, just out of habit, breathing, relaxing, reassuring myself, thinking positive. I'm, seemed okay. When we got into the ambulance, I am even thinking more positive. I mean, I'm thinking, this is a great story. Really, I'm a professional speaker. What do we need all the time? Good stories. This got my attention. I'm taking notes in the ambulance about what happened. Now, wasn't it a good story? It's an excellent story. It's become what's called a signature story. I'm known for the story. Getting shot from a professional speaker point of view, absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. In fact, my book, it goes through every chapter, I was shot in the center of my chest. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. My wife threatened to divorce me. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was audited by the IRS. It was the best thing that ever happened. In the middle of these things, it doesn't feel like that. In the middle of these challenges, we're overwhelmed with our habits, and we can't see through to something new. You've all heard the phrase, when a door closes, a window opens. The problem is we have to make a change to find the window. And it's hard to do that at the moment the door closed. It's helpful if you've practiced making that change before the door closes. So that's why these processes are so powerful. And that's an experience of my application of it.